Elvis and Joplin.
Now at 5, an Oklahoma judge sentences a Fairland man who pled guilty to murder. Plus, how recent COVID outbreaks at schools have impacted school nurses.
President Biden marks 1 year in the White House. I'm Natalie Brand with a look back at the successes and setbacks and what it could all mean for November's midterm elections.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A judge sentences a Fairland, Oklahoma man to multiple life prison terms for killing one man and injuring 2 others, including an Oklahoma Highway Patrol trooper. This is KOIM News at 5. Edwin Ball gets 3 life sentences with release after 35 years for crimes that happened in March of 2020. Ball shot and killed Brendan Van Zwell and shot and injured Peter Stokes. The victims were the adult son and brother of Ball's girlfriend. Ball then barricaded himself in a house near Grand Lake where he shot and injured an Oklahoma State trooper. In November, Ball accepted a plea deal, guilty, 3 charges, murder in the first degree, shooting with intent to kill, and assault with a deadly weapon. The penalty for all 3 charges is life in prison. Saw plenty of sunshine, but still pretty cold out there. Doug Heddy.
Yeah, about 20 degrees below where we should be for this time of the year, but it was nice to at least get the sun across the region. Still pretty much clear skies right now. Not too much going on here across the Central Plains. A few little snow showers down to our south across Oklahoma. Those will not affect us, but it's cold. Most of us sitting about 20 right now. At least the winds have died down a little bit, but we still have a north wind at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. So we are still going to have wind chill factors as we go through the overnight hours. The wind chill right now, it feels about 10 to 15 degrees. It's going to feel much colder once that sun sets as we go through the overnight hours. We're going to drop back through the teens. Cold night tonight, about 7 or 8 degrees for an overnight low. Of course, we're going to look down the road here in just a bit.
Event. School nurses have always played a large role during outbreaks of illness, and of course that's no different during this pandemic. Anderson Elementary School nurse Angela O'Reilly says she's been busy throughout the pandemic, and the recent rise in cases is a concern. She says she's been extra busy testing kids on top of treating them for other things.
So that's definitely an aspect of it, is doing the test here in the school on top of our normal daily duties that kept us busy anyway. So it's added a little extra to it. The staff is wonderful as far as just being a team player.
Riley says she's also trying to care for kids emotionally and reassure them that they'll be okay. Webb City officials today laid out what the city has been working on for the past year and where it's going from here. Webb City's mayor, city administrator, and community development director all spoke at the State of the City address. The mayor says infrastructure is a priority for him.
Good school system attracts people, our chamber and business community attract more businesses, and our government tries to do all it can to make the way clear for both of those to prosper well. Our job is to make sure that those infrastructure issues are solid and not imposing on people restrictions that are not necessary.
The event was hosted at the Webb City Route 66 Event Center. Today marks 1 year since President Biden was sworn into office. Though his first 12 months were marked with some highs, such as passage of the bipartisan infrastructure package, he also faced some major challenges with the COVID-19 pandemic and congressional gridlock. Reporter Natalie Brand is at the White House with a look back at the past year.
President Biden marked 1 year in office by focusing on his biggest legislative win to date, the bipartisan physical infrastructure law.
We demonstrated that Democrats and Republicans can actually work together to get something done.
Though some of his biggest priorities remain stalled, from voting rights to his massive social and climate spending plan.
We're going to have to probably break it up.
Democrats really need to scale back the ambitions that they had.
George Washington University professor Laura Brown notes the president has had major wins, like the American Rescue Plan COVID relief package, but also setbacks, from the chaotic Afghanistan withdrawal to current Russia-Ukraine tensions and a spike in inflation.
What really has, I think, bedeviled President Biden is a lack of consistency on the issues that Americans care the most about.
Recent CBS News polling shows a dip in approval ratings.
Polls go up and down, but we have to remain consistent in fighting for the American people and their needs.
Republicans have seized on the low ratings as they try to win back control of Congress this November.
What the election this fall is going to be about is about this administration and how it's doing.
I tell my Republican friends, here I come. What are you for?
The president has vowed to travel more this year and engage with the American public on his policies. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
President Biden also indicated to reporters this week that he does plan to run for re-election in 2024 with Vice President Harris as his running mate. Authorities in the UK arrested 2 men in an investigation linked to Saturday's synagogue hostage standoff in Texas. In that incident, a British national was shot and killed by police during a standoff where he held 4 people hostage at a synagogue in Colleyville. Officials have not said how the 2 men arrested today could be connected to the case. The CIA now says most cases of the neurological illness known as Havana syndrome were not caused by a foreign adversary. The abnormal health incidents first appeared in Cuba in 2016, with several diplomats reporting various symptoms, including sudden vertigo, nausea, headaches, and head pressure. Now the CIA is ruling out that it was caused by a foreign group, saying most of the cases can be reasonably explained by medical conditions or environmental and technical factors, including previously undiagnosed illnesses. Still ahead, ever-advancing technology.
Self-driving cars are closer than ever before. I'm Laura Podesta with how one automaker will soon have nearly full-time hands-free driving.
And next in Health Watch, a look at the medicinal benefits of music. Topping today's Health Watch, drug-resistant bacterial infection is now a leading cause of death worldwide, with young people and pneumonia patients the most vulnerable. According to new data in the Lancet, the global crisis led to more than 1.2 million deaths in 204 countries and territories in 2019, more deaths than HIV, AIDS, or malaria. Music is medicine. It can wake up the brain, calm our hearts, and ease our fears. In fact, from Alzheimer's to heart disease, research is proving that music can be as powerful as some medications to help heal what ails us. Watch as the sound of Swan Lake transports Marta Gonzalez, 71 and suffering from Alzheimer's disease, back to a time when she was the prima ballerina. Carol Rosenstein uses music to bring back lost memories.
Some of them have just been sitting like stone, and they hear a familiar melody, and they start to open their eyes and
raindrops keep falling on my head,
vocalize and tap and snap.
Music storage cells in our brain do not succumb to the disease process.
When I am sad and lonely,
and music doesn't just impact our brain. A review of 23 studies covering 1,500 patients found that listening to music reduced heart rate, blood pressure, and anxiety in heart disease patients. And a Harvard study proved cardiac patients who listened to music recovered from heart attack and stroke faster.
Somehow, the music releases the elixirs that allow us to respond.
Study out of UC Irvine found healthy adults aged 60 to 85 without previous musical experience improved their processing speed and memory after just 3 months of weekly 30-minute piano lessons and 3 hours a week of practice, whereas the control group showed no changes. And Stanford University conducted a study with 30 depressed people over 80 and found those who participated in a weekly music therapy group were less anxious, less distressed, and had higher self-esteem. New analysis in the Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology research suggests drinking coffee could reduce the risk of developing endometrial cancer. In an examination of 24 studies, people who consumed the most coffee were 29% less likely to develop cancer that starts in the lining of the uterus compared to those who drank the lowest amounts of coffee. Fewer women are being screened for cervical cancer in the U.S., and certain minorities, along with low-income patients, are least likely to be checked. A study from the University of Texas found that screening rates are lowest among Asian and Hispanic women, women who live in rural areas, women who don't have insurance, and those who identify as LGBTQ. The most common reason that women gave for not being screened was a lack of knowledge about the recommendations. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, the Biden administration is handing out funds to combat burnout among healthcare workers.
Plus, another cold night rolling in for us tonight. We're going to look at that coming up.
28.
At least we got the sunshine outside for us today, but temperatures really struggled to warm up. We started near 10 during the morning hours. We did get the sun, so it looks good outside. It's just cold still across the region, about 20 degrees below where we should be for this time of the year. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Look at our temps. We're dropping back near 20 right now across most of the four-state area. Lower 20s once you get out across Kansas, northeastern parts of Oklahoma. Thankfully, the winds aren't quite as strong as what we saw yesterday, but still kind of a brisk northerly wind kicking in at about 5 to 15. So that still gives us wind chill factors. The way it actually feels, most of us upper single digits to lower teens, and these will drop back once again as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Sun setting, currently outside, sitting at 20. North winds at 10. Humidity is at 46% through the evening hours. We'll slide back through the teens, eventually, about 7 or 8 degrees for an overnight low. So a very cold night across the area. Clear skies, nothing going on here. We have some clouds, a few little snow showers down to our southern parts of Oklahoma. But besides that, besides this system on the East Coast and along the Gulf, there's not a whole bunch going on. We still have our jet stream, which is kicking out of Canada, which gives us the cold air. As this system slides east, our temperatures will start to moderate a bit as we go through the next few days. Let's break it down. Let's go through time. Let's go through the overnight hours tonight. We'll stop early morning. Most of us about 7 to 10 degrees. So a very cold night. We do get kind of a southeasterly wind back for us tomorrow. So it's going to be warmer than what we saw today, but it's still going to be chilly as we only go into the mid 30s for afternoon highs. By tomorrow night, not as chilly. We drop back into the lower 20s. And then as we go into Saturday, looks better. 40s return. We go back into lower 40s by the time we head into Saturday afternoon. All right, wind chill still kind of down there tonight. I think wind chill factors near zero, not quite as low as what we did see during the morning hours today. And then they start to go up tomorrow still, even though we're going to go into the 30s, a little brisk. So it'll make it feel like it's in the upper 20s most of the day. Let's go down the road. Sunday, we'll stop Sunday afternoon. I think we should go right around 50, 51 if you're heading north Arrowhead. Game time 5:30. Temperatures will be into lower 40s, so not too bad. Monday, here comes our next storm system. We start to get some showers in here late Monday. On the backside Monday night, we may get a little sliver of snow that works through, so we need to watch that. I don't think that's a really high chance, but still we may get a little bit of snow on the backside. We cool down again Tuesday into Wednesday, but really most of next week, besides the system on Monday, it looks pretty calm, and we start to warm things back up late next week. All right, 34 tomorrow, 44, I got my days wrong. We're gonna go 34 Friday, 44 on Saturday, rain chances on Monday.
All right, thanks, Doug. Coming up, self-driving cars are closer than ever. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Leonard Hardin served in the U.S. Army in 1944 and 1945. The Humboldt, Kansas native was stationed in the Philippines, and we salute Private Leonard Hardin, a four-state hero. You know, you can learn about lots of other heroes from all across this area, more than likely many of them from your own hometown. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime, and it's very simple to do. You just click on the link on our website. It's KOAMnewsnow.com.
Doug Henning.
Topping today's Consumer Watch, the Biden administration is giving $103 million to healthcare workers to help promote mental health awareness and fight burnout. Health and Human Services says the money is funded by the American Rescue Plan. Some $28 million will go toward establishing, improving, or expanding programs to promote mental health and well-being. Another $68 million will go toward tailored training development within the health profession. The number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits surged last week to the highest level since October. According to the Labor Department, first-time filings for weekly jobless claims rose by 55,000 to 286,000. That was more than expected. The spike comes amid an ongoing surge in coronavirus cases. Ford is recalling nearly 200,000 vehicles due to an issue that could cause vehicles to roll away. The automaker says high temperatures and high humidity can cause the brake pedal bumper to separate from the brake pedal. This could lead drivers of some vehicles to accidentally shift out of park and roll away. The issue could also cause the brake lights to stay lit, confusing the drivers of other vehicles. The recall affects 2014 and 2015 Ford Fusions, 2015 Ford Mustangs, and 2014 and 15 Lincoln MKZs. Cars are more high-tech than ever, and as Laura Podesta reports, the race is on to bring self-driving cars to the road.
Around the outside.
This recent race in Las Vegas featured Indy-style cars, but there were no race car drivers. The fully autonomous vehicles make their own decisions, like when to pass.
Approaching 170.
Automakers are trying to bring the technology on display on this track to the road.
We're definitely finally getting closer to having self-driving cars.
Tim Stevens with CNET's Roadshow says many new cars have level 2 autonomous functions, including lane keeping assist.
When you step up to level 3, that's when things start to get interesting.
Last year, Honda introduced a vehicle that changes lanes on its own. And in a traffic jam, the driver can take their eyes off the road. GM's Super Cruise lets drivers go hands-free in certain conditions. Next year, the company will release Ultra Cruise, which promises hands-free driving in 95% of conditions. Waymo is taking the technology a step further.
Heading to shopping mall.
The company is now offering driverless cab rides in Phoenix, but the cars can't operate alone in inclement weather that may interfere with sensors. Full autonomy is just a concept at this point. Automakers envision a future where vehicles won't need any human involvement, but Stevens says first it'll require better sensors.
That gives these cars the ability to detect with millimetric precision every obstacle that's around them and find a safe path through it.
Companies are now testing advanced 3D LiDAR systems with that capability, racing to bring self-driving cars a step closer to reality. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
Yeah, it's coming. Mercedes and Volvo are expected to release vehicles with level 3 technology later this year. Final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, President Biden's chief of staff answers questions about his first year in office. Then on KOAM News at 6, why the EPA is suing 3 Orinoco, Missouri residents. Plus, we're going to have more on the impact of COVID outbreaks on school nurses. And Missouri Governor Mike Parson lays out his policy priorities in the State of the State address. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Scientists have made a spectacular discovery deep in the ocean off the coast of Tahiti, a pristine coral reef that remains untouched by climate change. Some of these rose-shaped corals span 6 feet. This reef is not like others around the world. For one, it's a lot deeper. It's between 100 and 200 feet below the waves. Scientists report more than 14% of the world's coral reefs have died since 2009. So ocean experts want to learn the secrets of this coral's resilience. It's a mystery, maybe some reason for encouragement.
Yeah.
The weather is still cold out there, Doug.
It is. It's going to be a cold night tonight. We're going to drop back to about 8 degrees, 34 tomorrow. I mean, we're getting better, but 34 is still cold. Back to normal on Saturday. Sunday looks fantastic, 51. Rain moves in Monday. We may get a little bit of snow on the backside, but I don't really see a good chance for snow for about 2 weeks.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.